Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is my presentation. And for my topic, I chose number 2, which is IFR airworthiness, which will include aircraft inspection requirements and also the required equipment for IFR flight. So we'll start off with the equipment. For the equipment for IFR flight, we're going to need an airspeed indicator, a tachometer, an oil temperature gauge, a manifold pressure gauge, an altimeter, a temperature gauge if the engines are liquid cooled, an oil pressure gauge, fuel gauge for each tank, landing gear indicator, anti-collision lights, magnetic compass, ELT, and safety belts. Along with that, we will need fuses. If we do have fuses, if we have circuit breakers, that will not apply. We will need a landing light if the plane we're using is for hire. We will need positional lights and also a source of power. And along with that, we will need a generator, which is an alternator, radios capable of two-way communications, a sensitive altimeter, since this would be an IFR flight, the ball for the slip and skid indicator, a clock with a ticking second hand, an attitude indicator, a rate of turn indicator, and a directional gyro. So all this can be broken apart into our VFR day, VFR night, and then IFR flight. Pretty much the list of 8 tomato flames, which is your VFR day, flaps for VFR night, and then grab carb, which is your IFR flight. So all that composed together would make up your IFR requirements. So the altimeter, you want to have a sensitive altimeter, which has a barometric setting, so you can adjust it for the atmospheric pressure outside, just so you can get a correct and sensitive reading, since you must be within the 75 feet of field elevation for it to be legal for use, or for it to be accurate for use. As for our inspections, we will have our annual inspection, our VOR inspection, which is for IFR flight, and that'll be done every 30 days. And I'll hit back on that here in a second. Our 100-hour inspection, which is for hire. Our pedostatic system, every 24 calendar months. Our transponder check, which is every 24 calendar months. And our ELT check, which is every 12 calendar months. And the ELT must be replaced after 1 hour of cumulative use, or 1/2 of its life is depleted. So for our VOR 30-day checks for IFR flight, we've got a few different checks we can do. We have our VOT check, our VOR ground check, our VOR airborne check, our dual VOR cross check, our repair station check, and our prominent ground landmark check, which is done on a selected radial. So you've got all of these. They all vary for their degrees of which the air can be, and you could do most of these on the ground. However, there's a couple you could do airborne, and when you complete these checks, you must write down the date at which the check was done, the error which occurred on the VOR system, so the difference of what your VOR indicator was telling you regarding the actual heading, not heading, but the track it should be regarding the VOR, and then the place it was done, along with the signature, whoever completed it, which could be yourself. So between those two, that's pretty much all of your IFR airworthiness, your inspections, and all your equipment. So if everything on that list is looking good, you're good for flight and to IFR conditions. So that's about it. Thank you very much.